When I think about the ultimate wagon, only one car comes to mind. Now, for us here in America, it has been a long-awaited dream to own one of these cars, and finally guys, we have the opportunity to buy one. What am I even talking about? I'm talking about the one, the only, the Audi RS6 Avant. The OG superwagon that has been on almost all enthusiasts' lists and has blown away the competition with some incredible styling and performance. The RS6 is basically an all-in-one car. And what do I mean by this? It's simple. It has the supercar performance and the practicality of everyday driving, and this car looks meaner than any other dad wagon out there today. If I could only own one car for the rest of my life, without a doubt, the newest generation RS6 Avant would fulfill all of my requirements. So if you are looking for a sports car that your wife won't kill you over, then join me guys as we dive into all you need to know about the Audi RS6. For all of you who don't know me guys, my name is Andrew and welcome to all you need to know about the Audi RS6. For all of you who are new to the channel or a returner, well, welcome back. I hope you guys find this video informational. If you guys do, consider hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. The more of you guys that smash that like button, like you all smash the gas pedal, the more people that will be able to see this video and learn something about this awesome car. So without further ado, let's see why the RS6 should be your #1 choice for an overall car to own. To start off, the RS6 is a high-performance variant of the Audi A6 lineup. The first and second version of the RS6 were offered in both an Avant and a sedan option, with the third and fourth generation being only offered in the Avant body style. Personally, I think this is the only style that the RS6 should be available in. For all of you who don't know, the RS stands for Rennsport, which literally translates in English to racing sport. So the RS line is considered Audi's ultimate high-performance trim level. Throughout the years, the RS6 has been the pioneer for some of Audi's newest and most advanced technology, which I believe would make this car considered as a halo car for the Audi brand. The original RS6 was launched in 2002 based on the Audi A6 C5 platform and was a successor to the infamous Audi RS2. If you guys are interested in this car, I'll link the video up above to my video about the Audi RS2. To start, the new RS6 would be powered by a 4.2-liter twin-turbo V8 that could produce 450 horsepower at 6,400 RPMs and 413 foot-pounds of torque at 1,950 RPMs. Paired with a 5-speed ZF gearbox and quattro all-wheel drive, the RS6 could do 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds and was electronically limited to 155 miles an hour. For the early 2000s, the RS6's biggest competitors was the E39 BMW M5, which the RS6 absolutely spanked the M5 in performance stats. As mentioned, the RS6 was built on the C5 platform, which allowed for both a sedan or saloon, or also a station wagon or an estate option. This car was also available in North America and Europe, which made this the first RS car available in North America. So if you guys are looking for the original RS car that came to North America, this would be the car to buy. Some cool facts about the first generation RS6. The C5 platform served as the debut model for the Audi Dynamic Ride Control, or DRC. The system used pumps to provide additional pressure to individual dampeners during cornering, acceleration, and braking. This basically allowed the car to stay flat and just increased the performance overall of the car. In 2004, Audi released the C5 RS6 Plus, which was the final limited run of an even higher performance RS6. This car could now make 480 horsepower at 6,400 RPMs with 428 foot-pounds of torque at 1,950 RPMs. This car allowed the RS6 Plus to reach 0 to 62 miles an hour in 4.4 seconds and was electronically limited to 174 miles an hour. The RS6 Plus was only available in the Avant body style and was only sold in Europe. Only 999 units were sold, and they sold out incredibly fast. The last 3 digits of the VIN were reproduced and put on a plaque inside the car and displayed on the center console. This is the easiest way to tell this RS6 Plus apart from the traditional just RS6. The second generation RS6 really took a leap forward in terms of styling and performance. Introduced at the Frankfurt Motor Show in 2007, it was a smashing hit. This time around, the RS6 would only be available in the European markets, leaving the S6 as the top of the line model in North America. In total, the production of the C6 RS6 was 8,000 units, with 6,500 being made in the Avant body style. As you can see, that Avant body style once again was the favorite option. This time around, the RS6 got a new motor under the hood. The 5.0 V10 bi-turbo engine derived from the Lamborghini Gallardo. This engine would make 571 horsepower at 6,250 RPMs and 479 foot-pounds of torque at 1,500 RPMs. Paired with a 6-speed automatic quattro transmission, the car could rocket from 0 to 60 miles an hour in 4.5 seconds and was electronically limited to 170 miles an hour. This combination made the RS6 Audi's single most powerful car ever built and was miles ahead the closest competition, the BMW M5 and the Mercedes-Benz E63 AMG. The car got the traditional RS treatment, with wider front and rear arches to fit a wider track. Some other small features included a solar sunroof option, which allowed the car to use the aircon while the car was not on. In addition, the new quattro all-wheel drive would now be able to send 100% of the torque to the rear axle and up to 80% to the front, depending on the traction conditions. This was first seen in the B7 RS4 and was implemented in the C6 RS6 afterwards. In true Audi RS6 fashion, Audi ended the production with the Audi RS6 C6 Plus, this time limiting to only 500 units. This car got the full carbon design package for the engine components, the Sport Plus suspension, and the traditional numbering badges on the interior. This time, they also offered 2 different options with the RS6. They offered the RS6 Plus Sport or the RS6 Plus Audi Exclusive. The Audi Sport option included an instrument panel on the hood, a center console covered in leather, and the RS6 logos on the floor mats. The Audi Exclusive package allowed for customers to specify a specific custom paint job that they would choose from a color range of quattro. In addition, the seat upholstery, center console door trim, inserts for the doors, the center armrest were all covered in a new leather from the Audi Exclusive program. The Sport package was 3,250 euros, while the Audi Exclusive package cost 8,310 euros on top of the purchase price of the car. This generation was a great leap forward in technology and styling for the RS6, once again beating out the competition. The next generation RS6 would take this car to an even higher level and set the new stage for the Audi RS6 Avant. In December of 2012, Audi released the RS6 C7 Avant only for the European market. Once again, North America would miss out on the RS6, but we would get the new RS7 that shares the same engine and platform as the RS6. This new generation RS6 would be powered by a new twin-turbo 4.0-liter V8, which would develop 553 horsepower at 6,600 RPMs and 516 foot-pounds of torque at 1,750 RPMs. Paired with a new 8-speed quattro all-wheel drive system, the car could rocket from 0 to 60 miles an hour in 3.9 seconds and was electronically limited to 155 miles an hour. If the car was optioned with a Dynamic or Dynamic Plus package, the car's top speed would be increased to 174 miles an hour or 189 miles an hour respectively. Due to tightening emission regulations, Audi added some new smart tech to help increase the car's fuel consumption to 24.5 miles per gallon on average, which personally I think is a pretty impressive number for a big turbo V8 car. Audi added a start-stop system, which personally I find super annoying. My dad has this generation A6 with this exact same feature on it, and every time we get into this car to drive, we always turn it off. They also added a cylinder deactivation on demand system, which is pretty cool and really helps get up that fuel economy if you're not really using all that power. In 2015, the RS6 got a cosmetic facelift with new headlights and an MMI display upgrade. It is very hard to actually tell the difference between them, but it's easy to see the difference when you guys actually look at the headlights. Once again, in true Audi fashion, they finished out the production of the C7 RS6 in 2018 with the release of the Audi RS6 Performance. This car was powered by the same engine as the normal RS6, but it was helped with a new ECU remapping to increase that power up to 597 horsepower at 6,800 RPMs and 553 foot-pounds of torque at 2,500 RPMs. While the top speed remained at 155 miles an hour, the 0 to 60 now was reduced to 3.7 seconds. This generation RS6 laid the benchmark for what a high-performance wagon could be, allowing Audi to use the same platform across other cars, as I mentioned, the Audi RS7. This platform would make another appearance in the newest generation RS6, and this car would turn up the aggressiveness to the next level, and whew, Audi nailed the design of this car. The C8 RS6 went through a completely new body design, and for me, I think Audi absolutely nailed the design of this generation. The aggressiveness really shows that this car is not just your normal Audi and plays off the original Audi RS2 design. Similar to the C7 RS6, this car is powered by a 4.0 liter twin turbo that is paired with now a 48 volt belt alternator / starter hybrid system. This can actually recover up to 16 horsepower, which is an awesome cool little upgrade for this car. The car puts out 591 horsepower and 590 foot-pounds of torque at 2,100 RPMs. Paired with an 8-speed quattro all-wheel drive system, the car can do 0 to 62 miles an hour in 3.6 seconds and is electronically limited to 155 miles an hour. Almost all the features found on the B7 RS6 would continue in the new B8 RS6. The new interior had some huge upgrades, with 2 touchscreens that seamlessly blended into the upper dashboard and flowing center console. Even though the climate control is now controlled via the lower screen, as you can see here, which can definitely distract a driver. If you guys don't want to actually take your eyes off the road, Audi's voice recognition software can also be used to now change any of these features in the car. Another cool feature comes standard in the new RS6 is Audi's new adaptive air suspension. This setup comes with air springs that are 50% stiffer. The cool part about this is they are able to lower these air springs automatically at higher speeds to get better aerodynamics, and they can also raise automatically if the road gets rough. But if you guys want an even better suspension, you guys can look into Audi's new dynamic ride control system, which is powered once again by hydraulic lines running through each corner of the car, and it will transfer that fluid back and forth to prevent the car from dipping when it goes into corners. I mentioned this earlier in, I believe it was the C5 RS6. It's basically the exact same idea, just updated. If you get the dynamic package, you can also get a new feature that hasn't been showcased in many European cars, and that would be the dynamic all-wheel drive steering. This allows the rear wheels of the car to actually turn to help it corner and make sharper turns. This is pretty common and probably most known on the Nissan Skyline GTR, but it's a cool piece of tech and makes the new RS6 stand out from the crowd. One of the nicest parts about the C8 RS6 is that this car is now finally available in North America for the first time basically since that C5 RS6. So it's been probably about 15 years since we've had an RS6 here in America. This comes with a huge relief for many of the enthusiasts here in America that were hoping that one day we'd be able to get our hands on one of these beautiful Avant wagons. In 2021, Audi released the RS6 Avant RS Tribute Edition in honor to pay homage to the original Audi RS2 Avant. These 25-year anniversary tributes were only available in North America and limited to 25 examples. Yes, guys, in Europe, you will also be getting an RS Tribute Edition, but you guys will be getting a little bit different of a spec than what we are going to be getting here in North America. In general, the RS6 Tribute Edition will be getting the famous Nogaro blue pearl paint with body colored matched mirrors, black optic roof rails, front grille, splitter, side trims, and a rear diffuser with the red brake calipers. The interior highlights include the carbon twill section inlays, the Audi exclusive sports seats, the lower seat panels, leather insert elements, and the RS floor mats. God, if there had to be any perfect dream spec for an RS6, this is the car. I couldn't think of anything better. This car is starting at $137,845. So if you guys want one, jump on it now while they're still available. At the release of this video, they may be all sold out, but if you could find one, definitely jump on it. What are the RS6 selling for? The RS6 price range has fluctuated dramatically over the different generations. If you guys can swing the purchase of a brand new RS6, the C8, for $112,000 or 95,000 euros, then I would say totally go for it. If you guys want to get all the bells and whistles and option out the RS6 all the way, well, you're gonna now look at spending around $141,000. New RS6s are already seeing price increases to around $130,000 or 110,000 euros just for the base RS6 due to the high demand currently for used cars. Now, if you guys are looking for a cheaper RS6, well, the older generations, you can find some great deals on these cars. The cheapest out of all of the different generations would be the original RS6, the C5 RS6. Here in North America, you can only get the RS6 in the sedan option, but in Europe, you have the ability to buy the Avant body style. Looking at the prices, it looks like the RS6 Avant has a slight price premium over the sedan option. You can see that the Avant is selling between $13,000 to $42,000, or an equivalent in euros, that'd be 11,000 euros or 36,000 euros, depending on the condition and the mileage of the car. Here in the US, the RS6 sedans are averaging around $20,000 for a clean car. The second cheapest option would be the C6 RS6. These cars have basically hit the rock bottom, I at least think, for their depreciation, and you can buy them for a pretty fair price. This generation was not available in North America, so if you're in Europe, this price only obtains to you guys. On the high end, you guys can buy a C6 RS6 for around 50,000 euros with lower mileage. You guys can also buy a cheaper RS6 with higher mileage for around 20,000 euros. A reasonable price range, but the prices are still pretty affordable, I would say, for an RS car. Now, for the C7 generation, I personally think out of all of the RS6 generations, this car is probably the best bang for your buck. The main reason why is because this car has almost all of the technology of the newest C8 RS6, and the styling is still super modern for today's standards. On the high end, for a basically brand new C7 RS6, you can expect to pay around 118,000 euros, while a higher mileage car, you can be looking to spend around 40,000 euros. If we had the C7 in North America, this would be the car I would say I would recommend to buy out of all of the RS6 models. But for us here in North America, I guess the C8 RS6 will have to do. Like, if you guys can afford it, it's 100% worth the money. Things to look out for when buying an RS6. When buying an RS6, there are a few things to look out for. After looking through several forums, the biggest complaint comes from the C5 RS6, mostly are the DRC or the dynamic ride control failing over time. This is a huge expense, and your options are either to replace that system, or the cheaper option would be to go with an aftermarket coilover system. For the C6 RS6, it seems that the biggest issues are the oil pumps and O-rings going bad over time. This is a full engine out repair and can cost thousands to fix. So check definitely over the car for any issues of leaks or drips, because trust me, your wallet is going to love you later if you do. Now for the C7 RS6. You will want to definitely look over for two things specifically. You will want to check the shocks to make sure that there are not any leaks. The dynamic ride control can be very expensive, like I mentioned before, to repair, and the only other option is to go with an aftermarket fix for it, such as coilovers. The second thing that you will want to look out for is the post-facelift cars, since they have some upgrades such as new headlights and an upgraded graphics in the MMI display system. There are just some nice features that I think some of you guys will want to look out for and may want to buy that facelift version of the C7 over the pre-facelift option. This last issue seems to be very common across all RS6 models, including the newest generation, and that is that they have loads of oil consumption. These cars eat oil like Johnny Chestnut eats hot dogs. Just make sure that you guys are checking to make sure that the oil in these cars are topped up and that these cars haven't been run dried, because obviously if they have, that's going to be a major repair bill for you guys in the future, and no one wants to deal with something like that. Modifications. When looking at the RS6, all 4 generations have twin turbo setups, so many of the modifications can be consistent across all platforms. In general, a simple tune, intake, downpipe, exhaust on say a C7 platform, people are seeing around 750 horsepower, which is 150 horsepower improvement over the stock car. This will run you around 8,000 euros, but it is a high-end part that you are buying for a high-end car, so I don't really think $8,000 should be an issue if you own one of these cars. For the newest RS6, the C8, a company called ABT is making their own custom performance and aero packages for these cars. Now, have you guys seen actually this car? Like, oh my god, this car is absolutely amazing. It's a brilliant, I think, version of what the RS6 really could resemble. Performance figures for this car, you're going to be getting around 690 horsepower and 649 foot-pounds of torque, which is plenty of power for this car. They do give 2 different options. They are the RS6 package and the RS6R, and damn, the RS6R package is an absolutely amazing option. It is worth, though, $40,000 extra over the traditional MSRP value, and if you want all the add-ons, you're going to have to add an additional $18,000 on top of it. So for a fully spec ABT RS6R, you're looking at $58,000 over the MSRP value of the car. It's pretty crazy, an amazing car, and they're only going to make 125 versions of the ABT RS6R. Currently, all of these cars are sold out, so you guys are not going to be able to order one from them, but maybe you guys can find one online and score one of them. If you do, hit a brother up. I'd love to see this car in real life. The Audi RS6, I personally think, is the best all-around RS car that you can buy today. It is super practical, it has supercar performance, and the styling, like, just look at this car, baby. It looks absolutely amazing. If you want to buy an all-in-one package, then this car is perfect for you. For years, North America has been missing out on the RS6, but finally, after almost 20 years, we are getting our first real RS6 Avant. I think after waiting all of these years, finally, the North American market are appreciating what Audi has been doing for years. A high-performance, luxury, all-wheel drive monster that can be used for everyday purposes or a fun weekend track day with the boys. What do you guys think about the RS6? If you guys had the money to buy this car, would you buy this generation? Or would you guys buy a different generation RS6? I'd love to hear what you guys think about this car in the comments section down below. below. I hope you all enjoyed this look into the Audi RS6. If you guys enjoyed this video, go down below, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel. If you guys want to see more All You Need to Know episodes, let me know in the comment section down below which cars, what models, what makes you guys would like to see. Everything is welcome here. Until next time, guys, my name is Andrew. Peace out.